Can I say something without people getting mad?
To the lefties that like to call me racist, please take a listen to this man.
It's okay for countries to not want lots of immigrants. Conor McGregor and the Irishmen who want less immigration in Ireland aren't all racist. They just want the people that they have to be taken care of before taking in new people. And they want Ireland to feel Irish. This is what Conor said.
The illegal immigration racket is running ravage on the country. There are rural towns in Ireland that have been overrun in one swoop, that have become a minority in one swoop. So issues need to be addressed. And the 40 million Irish Americans, as I said, need to hear this, because if not, there will be no place to come home and visit.
Ireland went from being 8% non-Irish to 24% in just 20 years. There's been a spike in asylum seekers from Ukraine, Africa, and the Middle East. Some of them are living in tents in parks, and it's exacerbating the housing crisis in Ireland. UK and Germany, whose foreign-born populations have increased by 77% over the last 20 years, are also struggling with mass migration. As a result, right-wing parties against mass migration are getting more popular. Pro-immigration advocates tend to focus on the fact that immigrants are just humans who want a better life. And they're right, but empathy without practicality is suicide.
There we go. I mean, this guy is just speaking complete and utter common sense. I love his style. He doesn't get angry. He just says it how it is, okay? And he's right that, most of the people who are trying to come to our countries, there will be bad apples, but most of them, they are good people that want a better life. But we have to be practical. We cannot take the entire third world into Britain and our small number of Western countries. It's simply impossible. And we have got a huge housing crisis on our hands here and in Ireland and in other countries. Don't we need to just take care of the people that are here first before we start flooding, the country with people from other places? It's not racist, it's just common sense.
Borders policy we've seen in America has been happening in Europe too. And here's the thing, people have been silent about it. And I think it's because many white people who aren't racist are afraid of being called racist. Mm-hmm. Many of them feel so guilty about what their ancestors did in the past that they're overcorrecting for it now. And the media is making it worse by calling everyone far right, which is basically a curse word now. No one wants to be called far right because who's actually far right? That's right, Nazis. And once you're called far right, the label white supremacist is sure to follow. This shuts down honest debate and hurts everyone. Because think about it. Why do we like to travel? So that we can experience different cultures. No one wants to go to France and eat escargot, but not hear the French language. No one wants to go to England and see Big Ben, but not hear British accents. Cultures are cool.
You don't hear many British accents in London anymore, that's for sure.
And if we don't preserve cultures in their homelands, those countries will become theme parks that feel all the same. And this isn't just about non-white people in white cultures. Bali has had a massive influx of Russian and Ukrainian refugees, and the place has changed. Now, I'm glad that those people found somewhere to stay, but don't you also want Balinese culture to stay? America is a bit different because it's a melting pot. But even in a melting pot, you still need to be intentional about what ingredients you add, in what amounts, and when. And the more different the new ingredients are, the more intentional you need to be. If you add Middle Eastern ingredients to a European dish, you need to be intentional about it. Just like if you add European ingredients to a Middle Eastern dish. The right amount of immigration isn't zero, but it's also not infinity. And people can't find the right amount if everyone is afraid of being labeled a far-right racist just for talking about it. And if we don't learn to have these conversations in good faith, we're not just going to lose Western cultures. We're going to lose the entire idea of culture.
Absolutely brilliant. I mean, well done to that man. He explained that so calmly and so beautifully. And, he really makes the important point about culture. Okay, just because you say you care about your culture doesn't mean that you're saying that your culture is the best in the world and that is superior to every other culture that there is in any other country. It's normal to say, I want there to be something unique about my country. I don't want every single country to feel the same. There will be traditions in England that I like and I want to, still exist in this country, whereas someone in Germany, they'll have like German traditions that they care about, that they want to be maintained. They'll be different. I'm not saying one is superior to the other. There's nothing wrong with wanting each country to be unique in one way, and as he said, they'll all end up like theme parks that feel the same if we just allow every country to become a complete and utter mishmash, doing nothing to maintain culture. And he really gets the essence of the problem with us not having conversations anymore, and how white people are terrified to talk about immigration. He's able to make that video, right? But a white person with the same opinions will often be terrified to do so, right? And that literally exacerbates the problem. So as he said, you're often labelled far right. That ends up being followed with you being called a white supremacist and all of this, and a racist. But if you don't speak because you're scared of being called those labels, you make the problem worse. Because if everyone who cares about, who's concerned about immigration, shuts their mouth and doesn't say a word, that means that people on the left who are pro-immigration, the only voices that they hear are pro-immigration voices, which means they think that that is the mainstream opinion. Politicians think it's the mainstream opinion, and hence they think that having a concern about immigration is some kind of like fringe view that only a few very extreme people hold. It's because you guys aren't talking about it en masse. And I get so many messages from you guys saying, thank you so much for saying what you say. I would love to say what you're saying, but I'm too terrified to. Have a bit of courage, guys, okay? And I know it's difficult because a lot of you have jobs and you're scared about losing your jobs and whatnot. But, one thing I would say to you guys is that really the best place for you to be working if your boss is the kind of person who disrespects you so much that they would leave you with no income, kick you out of your job, even if you were good at your job, just because of some opinion that you had? Is that really a good boss to be around? Maybe a boss that actually is welcoming of different points of views and different values is a better boss to have. Maybe there's a better job out there for you. I know it's difficult. I'm not saying it's easy, but just bear that in mind. Anyway, I'm Chloe Dobbs. Thank you very much for watching. Subscribe to Reasoned if you've not already.